Welcome, everybody. I hope you're all having a lot of fun. My name is JD Thomas. I am the president of the Ajax Pickering Toastmasters Club and communication advisor. Quickly, as a matter of housekeeping, for those attending workshops on Tuesday, the Zoom link for the event was emailed to you already. If you have not seen it in your inbox, be sure to check your spam or your junk folder. It should be there. If it's not, please contact someone from the workshops as soon as you can. Now, over the years, I have worked with Toastmasters, sales professionals, and keynote speakers to help them give the best presentations that they can give. And considering that we're about to watch a speech contest, I want to help you get to this stage next year with some tips on how to build an effective and award-winning speech. By the way, this is the time now to be getting ready for next year's contest. Now, perhaps you've already got the bones or the premise of a speech that you want to give, or maybe you're going to be inspired by someone that you see here today. Either way, you have just over 7 months to write, rehearse, rewrite, re-rehearse, go through all that over and over again before you start making your run at the contest level. So today, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you give the best presentation that you can give. Tip number 1, remember that you are a speechwriter first. If you ask the cast of Monty Python, they will tell you that they are comedy writers. Talk to the members of the band The Eagles, and they will tell you that they are all songwriters. Now keep this thought in mind next time you think you might just go and wing a speech. Powerful speeches are built on specific wording to provide specific ideas and messages. How good do you think Monty Python or the Eagles would be if they just went off of bullet points? Start writing now. Tip number 2, when you do start to write, start with the ending in mind. The writing of your presentation should start with one sentence. What message do you want the audience to walk away with? Presentations with a moral or a message always win. It also helps you focus and organize your speech. So start with your main message and build from there. Tip number 3, use a story. Stories are a really great way to bring home the message. Remember that an effective story is both and light. As Craig Valentine says, if you only use dialogue, you're doing a play. If you only use narration, you're doing a CNN report. So be sure to use both. Tip number 4, keep it concise. Going over time or rambling are often problems of either too much or too little content in your presentation. Keep your speeches to about 115 to 125 words per minute. Now that's 875 words for a 7-minute speech at most. This will ensure that you have to memorize less and will allow you to breathe, use proper vocal variety, and be very specific with your wording. Tip number 5, edit, edit, edit. All of the best speeches have been edited many, many times. Either editing for time or content, or both, can help you find a better way, different ways of saying something that might be more effective with the audience. When you rehearse and perform your speech multiple times, you'll get the opportunity to find what works and what can be cut out, which is, by the way, why you should be starting now. Now, there are a great many tips and tools you can use to develop an award-winning speech, but I hope these help. I will put them in the chat later on if anybody is interested in them, and good luck. Now, be sure to go through all the lessons in your Pathways projects. Take as much as you can from your projects and from the presentations that you do, so that you're not just checking boxes, but you're learning more about being an effective communicator. And I hope to see you on this stage next year. And now, who's ready for some really, really great speeches? I can almost hear you now. Phil Tassie is an author, a speaker, a facilitator, and a very proud distinguished Toastmaster. Over the years, he has held a variety of leadership roles, and he has competed on the District 60 stage 6 times. In 2014, he won the D60 Table Topics contest and then placed third in the humorous contest that same day. Today, he is your International Speech Contest chair. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to distinguished Toastmaster, Phil Tassie.
Thank you, JD, and welcome everyone. It is my honor to be today's contest chair for this, what promises to be an incredible contest. In a few minutes, you will see and hear speakers who are competing. The first place winner will go on to the regional quarterfinals, and I wish all of our speakers today a great contest and the best of luck. And who knows, perhaps one of our contestants today might just be the next world champion of public speaking. That'll be determined at the Toastmasters International Convention in August. Now, as a courtesy to our speakers and to other Toastmasters, we ask that you do not take photographs, screenshots, or video during the contest. And we ask that you refrain from making any noise or disturbances that might disrupt the contest. This contest is being recorded so that it can be provided, so that the district can provide it to the next level of competition. The speeches are to be 5 to 7 minutes in duration. They must be a minimum of 4.5 minutes and a maximum of 7.5. Timer 1 will show the following colors. Green at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, and red at 7 minutes. A reminder to the contestants to please pin timer 1 and to stay aware of your time. And to you, the audience members that are gathered here today for what promises to be a very exciting competition. You are welcome to complete your own judges' ballots. You can find them by going to toastmasters.org and looking for item 1172. Test yourself against this panel of very distinguished judges. So the speaking order for today is Speaker 1, Julia Clark. Speaker 1, Julia Clark. Speaker 2, Deanne Razak. Speaker 2, Deanne Razak. Speaker 3, Quan Chan. Speaker 3, Quan Chan. Speaker 4, Ruth Javier. Speaker 4, Ruth Javier. Speaker 5, Paul Falkowski. Speaker 5, Paul Falkowski. Speaker 6, Steve Beckford. Speaker 6, Steve Beckford. Speaker 7, Eloise Duplessis. Speaker 7, Eloise Duplessis. Speaker 8, Michelle Caballero. Speaker 8, Michelle Caballero. And Speaker 9, Peter Hernandez. I will ask for 1 minute of silence after each of the contestants to allow our judges time to mark their ballots. Our chief judge for today's contest is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Christine Scoulon-Humphrey. Madam Chief Judge, are we ready to proceed?
Mr. Contest Chair, all contestants' officials have been confirmed eligible and they have been briefed on their duties. We are ready to begin this contest.
Woohoo! In that case, let us begin. Speaker 1, Please unmute yourself to do a sound check by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you. Speaker 1, Julia Clark. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. Julia Clark.
If I could, I would stand on the mountaintop and shout, "You are responsible for your happiness." If I could, I would jet through the sky with a banner. Being loved begins with loving yourself. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, do these principles that seem to encapsulate man's greatest pursuits, happiness and love, sound familiar? If so, picture this. I'm standing before the audience, excited by the possibility that maybe I would finally cradle the beloved trophy, a testament of hard work, dedication, and growth. My thoughts are interrupted. Third place, Mary Brown. I clap and hold my breath for what's to come next. Second place, Julia Clark. I did it, yes, I did it. Award in hand, smiles for the camera. I remember it as yesterday. I stepped from the stage and eventually joined the crowd as the curtains came down on the event. May we have your attention? There has been a change. Yes? Turns out one of the winners would be stripped of their award. And it wasn't Mary Brown. No, it was me. Yes, me. You are responsible for your happiness. I am responsible for my happiness. Why? Because happiness is a choice, and we are the ultimate source of that choice. True power lies in the choosing, not in the circumstances. Dr. Dyer, motivational speaker, once said that our intentions create our realities. That's the power of intention. Being intentional, it moves you from victim to victor. Taking responsibility for your happiness, it's liberating. And it starts when you realize happiness doesn't come from outside of you. No, it's birthed from within. While it wasn't immediate, the happiness that I chose that day, it didn't come from winning second place. After all, that was a short-lived experience. I chose to find happiness in the merit of being there on that stage among the best of the best. Reframing my reality, your reality by intention moves you into the driver's seat of your life's journey and unlocks power within. Even in the face of dreadful COVID-19, having a positive mindset, smiling more, building resilience are ways to happiness. Samuel, a wonderful mentor to me, once said when it seemed the sky was falling on my head, "Julia, this too shall pass." 4 words, a cognitive paradigm shift, and my reality changed. This situation that seemed to eclipse life itself wouldn't last forever. That was my chain breaker. Now, when difficult situations arise, I intentionally reframe my reality, and it moves me from victim to victor every time. Picture again with me, 1976, 350 million people watched the Beatles perform live for the first time. All you need is love, da, 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 da. All you need is love. That's the end of my debut. But this one hit song summed up the one thing understood by all people of all nations: love. If I could, yes, I would jet through the sky with a banner message declaring, being loved begins with loving yourself. There's no question, love is tricky. Love is kind, sometimes it's tough. Yet we want to be loved and we want lots of it. But it's like the egg chicken situation. Which comes first? Loving others or self-love? I think Oscar Wilde, the Irish poet, he was on to something when he said, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. And who doesn't love a little romance? But it starts with self-love. I've learned that loving yourself is to have a positive self-image, respect for who you are, and unconditional self-acceptance, strengths, and weaknesses alike. Love from others starts with loving yourself. So love yourself. My friends, two principles that have shaped me significantly. What about you? You are responsible for your happiness. Being loved starts with loving yourself. So choose them today. Seize them now. And you could achieve man's greatest pursuits, love and happiness. Mr. Contest Chair.
Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Contestant 2, please unmute yourself and do a sound check by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Contestant number 2, Deanne Razak. Supergirl versus Sally Davis. Supergirl versus Sally Davis, Deanne Razak.
I am standing on the highest bridge above the clouds, about to bungee jump. Safety harness? Check. Bungee cord secure? Check. Is this really happening? Check. I'm at the edge of a 1,000-foot drop. Can I really do this? Can you? Contest chair, judges, and fellow Toastmasters. What are some of your biggest fears? The ones that will make you back away with that terrible feeling deep in your gut. I've encountered this many times in my life. And it all began when I was just 8 years old. Except I wasn't standing high up in the clouds. I was on my hands and knees on the ground with my books and pencils scattered all around me, and towering over me is the meanest, biggest person in the whole wide world. My childhood bully, Sally Davis. She looked down at me and said, "Pick it up, frog face." It was awful. All the kids at school are afraid of Sally Davis, and she always chose me to pick on. Every time she'd walk by, I would run the other way. Whenever she entered a classroom, I'd hide. Did she see me? As much as I tried to get away from her, she would always find me. So every day I wonder, why me? What did I do? The answer was nothing. I didn't do anything to fight back. Sometimes I wish I could be like those brave superheroes on TV, like Supergirl. Yes, she's strong, she's fearless. She leaps right into danger to save everyone from evil villains. And then she would fly across the city, and the crowd around her would cheer. Yes! I want to take that leap. I want to be just as brave where nothing can stop me. Can I really be like Supergirl? One afternoon, I was walking down the hallway when I had Sally's mean, angry voice. Only this time I realized it wasn't for me. There Sally was picking on another girl. And the look in the girl's eyes was fear, feeling I know all too well. Suddenly, something inside me changed. Not today, Sally Davis, for if there was a time that someone stood up to her, it is now. Before I knew it, I started walking towards Sally, and I thought of all the mean things I've been wanting to say to her, like, "Sally, you stink," and "You're the real frog face, frog face." There she stood, tall and towering, and I walked away. I will never forget that afternoon. I was so angry at myself for not standing up to Sally. I'm not a hero. But something in me did change, and I realized that bravery begins with a single step. So I decided that whenever Sally walked by, I would stop running. And if she came toward me, I would stop hiding. And when she pushed me, I'd stand right back up. In time, it worked. By the end of the school year, Sally stopped looking for me. Sometimes being brave comes in stages. It doesn't have to be that one big leap. Courage is in the many little moments only you can see. Now when I'm faced with my fears, I take them on bit by bit. Just like how I am standing at the edge of the bungee jumping platform. To stand 1,000 feet up in the air with an all too familiar, terrible feeling deep in my gut. But this time I know I will not back away. I gripped my harness, I looked ahead, I took one step and another, and I leaped. Whoa! So this is what it feels like last time you took that single step of courage when you were faced with the impossible and you did something about it. I had to dig deep to find what it means to be brave. I thought it meant being fearless. But the truth is, I will never be fearless. But then that's what makes bravery, bravery, to move forward, no matter what stands before you. When you are at the edge, look ahead, just like I did. All it takes is one step forward, followed by another and another to spark and ignite the courage within you. Challenge, check. Courage, check. Can we really do this? Can you? Check. Contest check.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Timer 3, please unmute yourself and do a sound test by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. Contestant number 3, Quan Chen. I broke up with my house. I broke up with my house, Quan Chen.
Oh, honey, it's not you. It's me. Have you heard that one before? Me? 3 times. And every single time, if you read between the lines, you know what they're actually trying to say, right? What they wanted to say was, oh, Quan, it's not me. It's you. They didn't break up with me because they thought there was something wrong with them. They broke up with me because they thought there was something wrong with me. They knew it. I knew it. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, aspiring Toastmasters. I think you know it too. And I promised myself that if I ever had the opportunity to break up with someone, I'd break it to them straight. I tell them the truth. Now, having said that, never actually had a chance to break up with a human, but I did get a chance to break up with my house. And when I did, I said those magic words. I went up to her and I said, well, baby, it's not me. It's you. Yeah, I said it. And I didn't just give her the line, I gave her a list. I told her that she embarrasses me in front of my friends. And when I said that, she acted like she had no idea what I was talking about, but she knew. Whenever we would have people over, there were just times I just need to sneak away to go to the bathroom because cheese is just not my friend. So here's my plan. Rush away quickly, do my business quietly, use Febreze, come back, no one's the wiser. She had other plans though. The moment I would flick on the bathroom light, her fan would shriek like a siren, basically telling the whole world, Quan is going number 2. Humiliating. You know, and on the subject of our friends, there are many times where she wouldn't let me go see our friends. I would jump into the car, try to get out, but the garage door would not open. She literally trapped me inside of her. And then there were these other times where they would try to come and visit us, but they couldn't get in because the doorbell would magically stop working. And yes, I am calling conspiracy because every single time the Amazon delivery guy comes, it's always ding dong. The worst part, though, that she's never there for me when I need her. Her air conditioner broke in the dead of summer. And her sunroom, oh, that gorgeous sunroom. The thing that first drew me to her. Well, she's a looker, but she is frigid. And so when I needed her warmth, she gave me the cold shoulder and froze me out. And when I needed her to be cool, she burned me. I gave her the list, told her the truth. And you know what? She took it like a champion. After we finished our conversation, we went down that day, signed our separation papers, and she walked out of my life. But as I saw her walk, my mind started to race. Because to be honest, she took it too well. And I began to think, what if I was wrong? What if it wasn't her? What if it was me? Hey, take the air conditioner as an example. Yes, it broke, but I chose to hire inexperienced installers. I chose cheap parts. I chose the cheapest unit. I did all of that because I wanted to save a few bucks. And I think she saw that I was cutting corners in our relationship, that I wasn't giving her my best. And I think that broke her heart. Oh, that wasn't her fault. That was mine. And not only did I fail to present my best self, many times I wasn't present at all. I was just never around. And if I just gave her a little bit of my time, many of our major matters would have been solved. If I just washed the bathroom fan twice a year, well, then it would have hummed silently and she would have kept my smells her secret. Or if I greased the garage chain once a year, well, then she would have let me go frolic with my friends. Or if I just changed the battery in the doorbell, well, that would have opened her up and she would have let people in. That was not her fault. That was mine. And if I just listened to her, oh my goodness, I would have heard her tell me how she desperately needed that heater. And then maybe she wouldn't have been so cold towards me. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that she wasn't the relationship we broke. I was the reason our relationship was broken. I was such a fool for letting her go. But thankfully, though I'm a product of my past, I'm not a prisoner of my past. I'm not doomed to repeat my past failures. I can change. Who I was, the guy I just told you about, the person who frankly made you cringe a little bit. That person is my past, not my present, and certainly not my future, which is great news because that means that I'm not doomed to be forever alone. And thankfully, I did get another chance. And when I did give her my best. I didn't cheap out. Now, I didn't get a chance to buy top of the line appliances, but I did get her jewelry to show her how much she meant. I also gave her my time. Not just the cracks in my calendar, but I gave her my first fruits. And most importantly, I listened. Rather than be quick to complain, I listened to her needs so I can serve her well. I changed. This is proof. I hope this is a reminder for you that you can change, that you are not a prisoner of your past. You're not doomed to repeat your past failures, that who you were, that is not who you are, and certainly not who you will be. You are a work in progress, not a finished product. You can change. And this is a message that our world so desperately needs to hear today, because we look around us and we see all of this hate and all of this hurt and brokenness. And the question that dawns upon us is this the way it's always going to be? The answer is no. Our past need not be our future. We can change. Let's model this hopeful word to our hurting world. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Contestant 4, please unmute yourself and do a quick sound check by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Contestant number 4, Ruth Javier, an imposter among us. An imposter among us, Ruth Javier.
There is one imposter among us. That's the opening message of a video game that I've been playing with my kids lately. Now, according to my son, that makes me the coolest mom ever for playing with them. That's why I decided to have some fun. The video game consists in characters running inside a virtual spaceship, completing maintenance tasks. The characters look like this. They are named crewmates and only one randomly selected imposter. Now, while playing with my kids, being the crewmate is very easy. I need to complete maintenance tasks while trying to figure out who the imposter is. On the other hand, being the imposter is complicated. I felt nervous and worried when I was the imposter because the imposter's role is to deceive the others, blend in with them, pretend to be part of the crewmate, and not let them find out because the crewmate would vote them out of the game. Contest chair, Toastmasters, friends. Raise your virtual hands or thumbs up if you've ever felt like an imposter or you've been in a place that you don't feel you belong or you're not good enough to be there. I have felt like that countless times in my life. Now, I know rationally I haven't been tricking anyone or faking who I am. Still emotionally, I felt like a fraud. Like I'm not as good as people think I am and they will find out. Which have led me to do two things. I either sabotage myself by procrastinating on very important things, or I do not take on any challenge at all with the fear of being exposed. I did my research and I find out that it's called the imposter syndrome. And according to the National Institute of Health, around 70% of adults and many successful people have experienced imposterism. My imposter syndrome made its appearance recently when I decided to apply for a position at my college as a career peer coach. I am in my last semester in my postgrad as a career development practitioner, a career that I love because I've been training and learning how to support professionals in their development journey. However, I convinced myself that I was not ready for a position as a career coach. I was not ready for an interview. I needed coaching. Then I decided that I didn't have anything to lose. I polished my resume and cover letter, waited until the last day, and applied for the job. A week after, I received an interview invitation. Then during the interview, I was still telling myself that I'm not supposed to be there. They made a mistake. Then I had to focus on the interviewers because you know what? Some of those dreadful questions, behavioral questions, were coming out from the interviewers. One of them was, tell me about a time when you went above and beyond your call of duty to get the job done. I took a deep breath. I collected my thoughts and answered all the questions. A week after, I received that email. Job offer. Oh my goodness, what have they done? I was in shock. I was excited. I was proud. Yes, I defeated imposter syndrome. Yes, I defeated my self-doubt. Yes. Then the imposter syndrome made its appearance again when I decided to participate in the speech contest. I came out with 1,001 excuses to not participate. What if I forget how to speak English? What if I fail? What if my accent comes heavier than ever? Those other speakers are so much more experienced. What am I going to do? Then decided to participate anyways. See, according to Psychology Today Canada, a person who experiences imposter syndrome feel like they're not as competent as other people think they are. And my biggest regrets have been the time that I let that sensation stop me from doing things that excited me. If you have ever felt like an imposter, or you don't belong, or you're not good enough, these words are for you. Number one, acknowledge your self-doubt. Acknowledge how you feel and share it. They tend to grow if they're hidden. Talk to someone you trust. It can be a friend, a counselor, a partner. For me, it was my mentor, and it made a huge difference. Number two, act in spite of your feelings. In my experience, the more you feel you don't qualify, the bigger the excitement on the other side. Apply for that job that you don't feel you qualify for. Apply for that job. Do the things that scares you so much, but brings you so much joy at the same time. Give that speech that you have been procrastinating on. Write that book, that blog, start that business, whatever it is. I want you to know this. You either win and succeed or gain the most amazing experience of your life and move forward. Number three, make a list of all your accomplishments. Look at them. Yes, you did all those things. You have succeeded before, and you will do it again. I wish I could tell you there is a magic formula to make the imposter syndrome go away for good. The truth is, it will come time and time again. Differently from the video game, no one is trying to find out if you're feeling like an imposter. I invite you to act in spite of your feeling. This is our virtual spaceship. And know this, we all belong here. You are unique. And there is a difference only you can make. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Speaker number 5, please unmute yourself and do a sound check by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great. Speaker number 5, Paul Falkowski. The speech is the message. The speech is the message. Paul Falkowski.
If I asked you, how many times a day do you have a conversation? Would you know the answer? I know I wouldn't. The medium of conversation is unconscious, automatic, often unremarkable. The words, they flow out of our mouths with zero pressure. Why is it then that given the opportunity to speak publicly, all of that goes out the window and the pressure begins to rise? It's as if we are missing a major puzzle piece. Have you realized that every time you engage in a conversation, you engage in public speaking to an audience of at least one? The other day, my girlfriend came home and asked me how my day was, and then she gave me the stage for a response. I was enthusiastic, and I said, excellent! And then I gave her the stage right back and forth, we passed the stage to each other, paying no second thought to the message we were communicating. I know it's different in public. We fear public speaking, the speech, because we fear judgment for the presentation of our ideas, the content. Have you ever felt that? Canadian communication theorist Marshall McLuhan might have the cure for that fear. Marshall McLuhan argued that the content does not matter as much as the method in which it's delivered. He encapsulated his position in a phrase you may have heard before: the medium is the message. The medium or piece of media is any tool for communication in the broadest sense. At its simplest, even a light bulb can convey meaning, not to mention phones, social media, the digital vein that runs throughout our technological infrastructure, even conversations. The medium is the message. In other words, the medium in which a message is presented is more important than the message itself. The fact that we use these tools is more important than the content they convey. What are the implications? Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, judges, guests. The content of my speech is not the message today, no, but rather the speech itself. The medium of the speech is the message. Pay no attention to the words I am saying, but to the method in which I deliver them. Consider for a second any speech in a meeting, in a classroom, in a contest. One person stands in front of the room to perform oratory while the audience looks on and listens. There may be props, there may be note-taking, and the voice modulated by the speaker, words chosen carefully, delivered in a casual or a grand fashion that we can recognize by influencing the individual elements, emphasizing this word. Pausing, leading the audience from one side of an argument through gesture to another, we increase our effectiveness as speakers. It all can be learned, but the individual words that we speak matter less than the fact that we are speaking at all. We begin to understand that the medium of the speech is the message. Marshall McLuhan was commenting on radio evolving into TV. Adding a visual medium to an auditory message was worthy of remark. So even here, consider, I've been speaking in a medium we've known for years, the speech. Well, with an added layer, because this isn't just a speech, it's a speech on Zoom. Again, pay no attention to the words I say, but to the method in which I deliver them. A speech in a Zoom room while the audience looks on and listens. There may be props, there may be note-taking, and the voice modulated by the microphone, words chosen carefully, delivered in a casual or a grand fashion through an online conference service. That we can recognize. In the same way, the switch from radio to television was remarkable. The switch from speech to digital speech is worthy of remark too. Not the words I'm saying, but the digital speech is the message. So consider, when I change my virtual background, and you can read it along with me, how that affects the medium. This is a speech on a Zoom virtual background. Pay no attention to the words that are written. A speech on a Zoom background while the audience looks on and reads. There may be note-taking of the words chosen carefully, delivered in a casual or grand fashion through an online conference service, and now behind the speaker, that we can recognize. And can we recognize that this speech, now recorded, with the potential to be reposted digitally, expands the medium even beyond what we're discussing? How about this? How about this? The speech is the message, not the content of the speech, but the speech itself. On Zoom, through virtual background, distributed digitally, on a t-shirt, as a puzzle, is the message. Do you fear public speaking because you fear judgment? Well, maybe we found our missing puzzle piece. If we expand our thinking of what a speech is, we can lose fear of what we say, empowered by the medium in which we say it. We can drop the fear and be fearless. In our public conversations, we can hear those who heretofore have spoken less. And we can be heard. We can stop overthinking, and we can start speaking. Because we all have the medium of speech available to us. And the speech is the message. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker number 6, please unmute yourself and do a sound check by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not hearing you, speaker number 6. Not hearing any audio. I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
Sure, Mike.
There we go. I can hear that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that good?
That's great. Thank you. Speaker number 6, Steve Beckford. It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. Steve Beckford.
Attitude isn't everything. It's the only thing. While growing up, my mentor taught me some powerful truths about attitude. Attitude determines where you go and how you grow. Also, when you add up the numerical value behind each letter of the word attitude, it sums up to 100. When you approach life with the right attitude, you'll grow 100% of the time. The contest chair, fellow ferns, have you ever asked yourself this question? Why me? Why am I going through this? Like a resilient fern, I realize it's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. Now let's grow through my story, but first, get ready to grow in these boots. Are you ready? Virtual thumbs up if you're all set. All 500 virtual thumbs, let's go. Attention. Stand at ease. Stand easy. It was the course I've been waiting for. Army Basics at Canadian Forces Base Meaford. It was the type of course that'll either make you or break you. And it was 35 days of torture. I showed up on the course looking like Wesley Snipes. I even had my Blade Trilogy haircut, sharp as a razor. Woo! I was ready for them. Regular day, at lunchtime, I jogged into the meal line, and out of nowhere, I heard a loud, resounding voice. Beckford, are you sauntering across my parade square? No, I wasn't. Mistake number 1. Don't talk back in the military. 2 master corporals appeared out of nowhere. Who do you think you are, Private? Do you want to get charged with insubordination? Don't look at me when I'm talking to you. Stop moving around. Stand at attention. I needed to seek clarity before the ending of the day. Master Corporal, my apologies if I disrespected you or the rank, but how should I have responded in this situation when you asked me a question? Beckford, you gotta learn how to play the game. Keep your mouth shut, say nothing, and carry on. Master Corporals are always right. Tough lesson. Boy, I can't wait till I become a Master Corporal. Who are you becoming? It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. Did I say that I couldn't wait to become a Master Corporal? 5 years went by like this, and here I was, back where it all started, at Canadian Forces Base Meaford. But this time, I was on a leadership course that was designed to teach Master Corporals how to bark out commands while gently motivating troops. I showed up on course in the best shape of my life. Not like now, with my COVID cut and my COVID gut. On course, I ended up getting a first-class trip. Before the review board, I had failed 2 major tests, and my fate was left to be decided. I walked into a room, And all I saw was 30 high-ranking officers seated at a boardroom-style table that went from one side of the room all the way to the next. Talk about fear factor. I was terrified. Next, all I heard was, Corporal Beckford, we read your file. You have 2 minutes to tell us why you should remain on course, because we know you have the leadership capabilities. This was my time to shine. I had to deliver. It was either sink or swim. And I was determined to swim. I spoke with passion. I spoke with conviction. I spoke with fire from my belly. I was one of 6 corporals, the only corporal to now complete that course. Who are you becoming? It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. Now take a second and think about your own course of life. Some of the experiences that you have gone through may have caused you to have a negative perception. May I invite you to change that negative perception. Understand that the Goliath that you face today is really your hidden promotion for tomorrow. That test, that trial, that tribulation, it was designed to delay you, but never deny you. Your tests are simply teachers with timelines. Like a resilient firm, you can grow in any environment. So why me? Why have I got to go through this, you ask? You had to go through it so you can learn from it. Who are you becoming? It's not what you go through, it's what you grow through. So there you have it. You now know how I grew through my story and my circumstances, and you can too if you remember the following. 1, attitude is everything. 2, seek clarity. And 3, never, never, never give up. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker number 7, please unmute yourself and do a sound check by repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. Speaker number 7, Eloise Duplessis, Joy of the Tangible. Joy of the Tangible, Eloise Duplessis.
Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. Carl G. Jung. I work in the financial services industry, and in the summer, I listened to a webinar on the outlook for barley prices around the world. Sounds really boring, right? The auspicious expert explained what harvests look like in different places. There were bumper crops in Germany and Scandinavia, and the same was expected for the UK mid-July, but they were afflicted by torrents of late summer rain. And even though the supply is still good, most of it is feed quality barley now, and no longer malting quality. That is the type we need to make beer. I learned that Canada is responsible for most of the barley used in North America. Here, it only takes 100 days from planting to harvest, and 90% of it is malting quality. I learned so much. It was a wonderful call to be a part of. And I thought, why? Why did I find this so interesting? And I realized this was the only part of my day where I was dealing with something tangible. I had a connection to the earth, to people sowing and reaping something real. I could picture the fields of barley stretching acres upon acres, and huge harvesters barreling through, cutting and storing the grain. See Russell Crowe in Gladiator, walking through the fields, swishing his hand through the grain, touching, feeling his home. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, judges, and all our guests, this stood in stark contrast to the rest of my day. A day filled with things that are intangible and esoteric. There are so many aspects of this industry where I make my livelihood that bear little relation to the picture of stretching barley fields that I just painted. Let's start with economic forecasts, or as I like to call it, crystal ball gazing in a suit and tie. Trying to divine a future number that is so loaded with assumptions and accounting gymnastics that it actually has nothing to do with products being bought and sold. More examples: algorithmic trading, goodwill, intangible assets. All of these things are like ghosts, mirages, specters. They're promising you an oasis in the desert, but definitely not delivering. Now I see that grin of satisfaction on your face for the peril that us poor corporate cronies find ourselves in. But you, dear listener, have been dragged into this intangible world with me. The pandemic has turned even the most basic, tangible things into a series of zeros and ones beamed over miles. Virtual everything, real nothing. Virtual speech contests, virtual yoga classes, drive-by birthday parties, Zoom happy hour. So, what happened when we were all plunged into this not quite the real thing world? We yearned for the tangible. And I expect that that is the reason why so many people have turned to hobbies that include something you can touch. Sourdough bread baking, for example. You're not going to make a great loaf by sitting and watching the Food Channel or hunkering down with a food book. You have to get your hands in the dough. Gardening. Taking a seed from this red pepper that was in your salad and planting it, nurturing it until it grows into a plant that yields multiples of this one seed. Seeing something emerge under your own hand gives such a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. And you can see this in the people whose jobs haven't been turned completely virtual. I was driving to the supermarket the other day, and on a stretch of road where there's construction taking place, a man was sitting in an excavator. The huge hydraulic boom came up and went down and scooped the entire bucket full of earth. And as he was sitting there, waiting for the crew to direct his haul, you know what? He was singing in the cabin. He was bopping along to music. He was looking like he's having a grand old time. Did you see those guys? The crew of the tugboat that freed that huge ship from the Suez Canal? The elation and euphoria on their faces. I expect that you only get that feeling when you affect the world in such a visceral way, moving mountains and holding it in your control. So contest chair, my fellow Toastmasters, all our guests, when this pandemic and the world in general begins to feel like you're living in a simulation, let your hands solve that mystery for you. Replace even one of the books you were going to read on your device with a hardcover from the library. Grow and nurture a houseplant. I promise you, it is a lot more gratifying than building an entire ranch on your computer on that game that Facebook keeps poking you about. You can even brew some craft beer with our excellent Canadian malting quality barley. Cheers to the joy of the tangible. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker number 8, please unmute yourself and perform the sound test by repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great. Contestant number 8, Michelle Caballero. Starve, fear, appreciate life. Starve, fear, appreciate life. Michelle Caballero.
In 2019, 3,014 organ transplant procedures were performed here in Canada. I was included in that lucky count. I am humbled and honored to be here today. I'm breathing, alive and well. Raise your hand if you appreciate your life. I admit, my appreciation for life increased at moments when I thought I would almost lose it. Fellow Toastmasters contest chair, today I am bold enough to share part of my story and how it constantly renews my appreciation and drive to live my best life. It all started with an annual checkup. It was late 2010, the doctor said, there's excess protein leaking from your urine. I'll have to send you to a nephrologist to investigate your kidney function. A nephrologist? A few short months later, I found out I was pregnant. Imagine getting the blessing of a child and being terrified with health issues at the same time. But by the grace of God, my son was born healthy and strong. September 2011. Elijah Christian Watson is my why. Flash forward to 2014. My energy was slowly fading out of my body. After a biopsy and follow-up test, the doctor informed me I had end-stage 5 renal failure. Kidney function less than 10%. But I thought this would be like slowly progressive, like when I'm older. The doctor said, well, disease does not have any set age. How long do I have to live? Would anybody be willing to give me a kidney? I had a million unanswered questions. No time for that. I had to start dialysis immediately. My first surgery ever was to insert a dialysis access line into my chest. That lifeline would allow for the flow of blood to pump through my major arteries into a filter on a dialysis machine that would do the work of a kidney. Cleaning my blood, balancing hormones, fluids, minerals, that kept me alive. I remember one night, I was in the hospital room alone. July 1st, 2014, Canada Day long weekend. At least I could see fireworks out my window. But all I could think about was that I was missing out on that moment with Elijah. The diagnosis of kidney failure led me to face my darkest fear: mortality. Does anyone have that fear? One of my many life lessons is that at the crux of all our fears is a choice. Yes, I had a roller coaster of emotions, but I had to make a choice to pull myself together and continue to enjoy my life. I pushed towards joy and laughter and being silly. I stopped saying maybe one day and started saying yes, let's do it now. It gave me a fire and an urgency to enjoy life and life's experiences. On 9/11, 2019, I got the call. Hey, hi, is this Michelle Caballero? Yeah, it's me. I am calling from UHN. I have a potential donor match for you. Oh, let's say that again. And all the excitement and all the Russian regions, I spent hours in the hospital getting ready. Okay, my hopes were at their highest. To find out it's not happening today. Fighting back tears, I had to dig deeper to patiently wait. I found out later the donor was on life support and the family postponed. Okay, this is where I had renewed hope. What's a couple more days when I already waited 5 years? 2 short days later, Friday, September the 13th, 9/13, I got the call. I made it to the surgery table. Okay, this is it. No takesies backsies. A lovely nurse played a song I had never heard before by Brian White. God gave me you. On my right side was a red container with my kidney. It's like a little floating jelly. Oh, so cute. 2 doctors with high-tech goggles poked and prepped it and got it ready for surgery. Was I nervous? No. On my left side, the time, 9:44 p.m. and 13 seconds. I took that as a sign. I'm exactly where I should be. Everything is gonna be okay. I relied on my faith to carry me through my trial of kidney failure, and it brought me to this moment. A kidney from an angel donor. Up until the very last second, I closed my eyes. I felt a higher level of peace. When I reopened my eyes, it was like a blank. Oh, I got a kidney. Oh my God. I stayed up almost half the night full of talking energy as I could not move any other part of my body. From that day forward, I have appreciated life more and more. Every day we wake up is another opportunity for us to live our best lives. I share my story to show the strength and resilience we all have. I faced one of my biggest fears and learned that when we face our fears head on, we learn how strong we really are. My last surgery ever was to remove the access line from my chest. I encourage you, starve fear and feed into the appreciation for life. Contest chair.
Thank you. Timer 1, please indicate once 1 minute has expired. Thank you. Thank you. Speaker 9, please unmute yourself and perform a sound test by repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One, two, three, 4, 5.
Thank you. Speaker number 9, Peter Hernandez. Love transcends. Love transcends Peter Hernandez.
To change the world, go home and love your family. A quote by Mother Teresa. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. As a child, I remember being in a restaurant with my parents and sisters. We were having a great time as a family when I noticed a couple sitting across from us, just watching and smiling. As they got up to leave, they smiled again. And when my father asked for the bill, we were told that it had already been paid. I remember my excitement as I said, "Why, Papa?" And he said, "Your love for each other jumped from your hearts to theirs." Now, we all tell family we love them, but don't just say it, feel it, and send it from heart to heart. At the time, I was young and didn't quite understand what my father meant until I experienced it just 10 years ago when I was living in Mexico City. My older sister came to visit me at the time. I was excited to show her my stomping grounds. But like a brother, I was concerned for her safety. So I made sure to almost intimidate her to make sure she made the right decisions and was always taking care of herself. But unfortunately, I didn't take my own advice. I made a careless decision because I was in a rush. And I got us into the wrong cab at the wrong time. And before we knew it, we'd been kidnapped. It was like an out-of-body experience. I could see my poor, sweet sister kicking and screaming as two men pushed their way into the cab.
I couldn't understand what was going on until I got punched in the head, but by then it was too late. Calm your wife down or you're both dead. My sister started hyperventilating, and I was left just wondering, so this is how it ends? Empty your pockets and give us your bags. And then they held up my credit cards. Your PIN numbers or you die. Of course we cooperated, but I couldn't see how we were going to get out alive. So in that moment, without telling my sister what I was doing, I started to say my goodbyes. I took her hand, looked her straight in the eyes, and spoke directly into her soul. I love you. Andrea, I'm so sorry for getting us into this mess. You're the best sister I could ever have. And then with tears streaming down her face, she cried. And she said, you're a wonderful brother. I love you. It's going to be okay. And there was something so profound about our love in that moment that something came alive inside us and transcended to everyone within that cab. And it was there that I understood what my father had meant all those years ago. Because next, without yelling, they simply asked, where are you from? I said Chile, and my sister said Canada at the same time. They looked confused, and I didn't want them to think we were playing games, so I quickly offered up. We were born in Chile and raised in Canada. And she's not my wife, she's my sister. She instinctively jumped in, humanizing us by asking, do you have sisters? The one guy said, yeah, but we're not close like you two. They hardly take my calls. And then we all giggled nervously. Then the guy beside me, he eased up and he said, your sister's got a great kick. She got me right in the leg. To which my sister just giggled and said, I'm sorry, but you guys scared me. And there we were in the back of this cab, connecting with our captors like we were making new friends. Oh, we were still afraid. We were still very afraid and didn't know how this was going to turn out, but we were determined to come out alive. So in that moment, I said, Chile and Mexico are both in the World Cup. And they cheered and got so excited as we spoke about soccer for what seemed like hours as we drove around in a holding pattern, waiting for them to get instructions. I ended up seeing the one guy's screensaver. It was the Toronto Raptors, and I switched the conversation to basketball. Then he was even showing me photographs of his girlfriend. The phone rang, and they received word that money had been retrieved from our accounts, and we were to be dropped off. We were nervous, but I said, you can't drop us off here. It's dark, and we're in the middle of nowhere. Someone else will just pick us up again, and we'll get kidnapped again. And would you believe? They actually gave us directions. And then I thought, wait, you took all our money. Give us some money back. The one guy looked at the other guy. He nodded, and they gave us 100 pesos. 100 pesos, I said. That's not going to get us anywhere. Give me 100 pesos. Give my sister 100 pesos. And they did. And then the cab stopped. The door flung open, and we were pushed out into the dark. But not before hearing them say, amigos, when we see Chile in the World Cup, we're going to remember you two. And with that, they were gone. As I look back, all these years later, I know without a doubt that it was the love between my sister and I that saved our lives that night. Like my father had said to us as kids, our love for each other jumped from our hearts to theirs. Now, next time you tell someone you love them, don't just say it, feel it, and send it from heart to heart. Contest chair.
Thank you. Please maintain silence while our chief judge and the functionaries leave the room. Thank you. All right. That was exciting. That was informative, entertaining. Thank you all so very much. And congratulations to our contestants. Now, we have an opportunity to get to know each and every one of our contestants just a little bit better. So contestant 1, please unmute yourself and let's chat. There's Julia. How are you feeling?
Relieved.
Great. Please tell us, what club are you representing today?
I am representing the club Excellence and Beyond, located in the Scarborough area.
Wonderful. Well, I'm sure that you're getting lots and lots and lots of cheers from all of your supporters out there. So let's get to know Julia a little bit better. Your favorite quote is, "I think, therefore I am." Why does that mean so much to you?
I think this quote represents significantly the power of the human mind. What we tend to think is what we tend to feel, is what we tend to become. So when I tell myself those things that are positive and of good rapport, I reflect it. It's just like smiling until you feel like smiling. I think, therefore I am.
I love it. That's great. Now, you have said that your inspiration is helping others and growing as a result. Can you think of one particular time that comes to mind right now where you helped somebody and felt that you grew through that process?
Mr. Chair, I am currently coordinating and leading out the Youth Leadership Program, an amazing program that Toastmasters offers for young people. And it has been an experience for me in teaching them about what we are seeking to do as adults to become effective communicators and effective leaders. And so I have found that doing these sessions with these young people are teaching me some things about how to engage, how to keep young people engaged, because we know sometimes that isn't very easy, especially with this new platform. But I find that when these young people become excited, when they can attest to benefiting from the program, it empowers me and it makes me feel good, because I believe each one should reach one. Pass it on, pass it on.
That is a great philosophy to have. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you've indicated that some of your interests are reading, writing, event planning, and gardening. So with spring coming, you must be very excited about gardening. What is your favorite plant that you're looking forward to plant?
My favorite plant is one that I planted last year. It has grown to 6 feet. Wow. And it is called the passion fruit flower. It's beautiful. When it blooms, it doesn't bloom for very long, but when it blooms, it is so unique that I have actually dug through the vines to try and see if some are hidden. But I want to add one more, Phil, if I can. One that's called the balloon flower. when it begins to grow, and these are both perennials, which is great for those gardeners, it grows as a balloon and then it pops open. And I love it. So those are two of my favorite flowers. I have more, but I do enjoy those. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the passion fruit flower that I planted just last year is going to do in the soil this year.
Well,
Phil,
I'm
that's
very
time.
excited for you. And thank you so very much, and congratulations again. We look forward to hearing much more from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Great. And now I would ask our second contestant to please unmute yourself.
Hi, Phil.
Hello. So please tell me, what club are you representing today?
I am officially representing my home club, We Communicate Best, or known as WCB Club. And I'm also unofficially representing my advanced club, which is Speaking from Experience Advanced Toastmasters, or known as SPEET.
Wonderful. Well, again, I'm sure that there's lots and lots and lots of virtual clapping that is happening from all of your supporters and fellow club members. So let's get to know you a little bit better. You have indicated that one of your main interests is baking. Now, you can probably tell from me that one of my favorite interests is eating baked goods. So please tell me, Tian, what is your best baked dish?
So when I say that I love baking, to give everybody an idea, I bake every week. I started baking 4 years ago. I bake every single week. That's how crazy I am. But I stopped baking since the pandemic because I didn't have anybody to share it with, and I didn't want to emerge out of the pandemic heavier than or unhealthier than we already are because we stay at home a lot. But to answer your question on what is my favorite item to bake is I like to bake French macarons or macaroons. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. There's a sandwich cookie. And it's such a, you need a lot of skill to do it. I practiced doing the cookie 20 times and failed 20 times before I mastered the French macaron. So there you go.
Beautiful. Well, I have to say I love macaron, and one of the things about repeatedly trying and failing is that it leads you always to success. So I'm glad that you've really gotten the macaron, because it is I've heard quite difficult and quite challenging. So your favorite quote is "Magic happens at the end of your comfort zone." So you talked about bungee jumping. What is another time where you felt that the magic happens at the end of your own personal comfort zone?
So I think we are all creatures of habit. And the first thing that came to mind when you asked me that question, Phil, is table topics. I am terrible at thinking on my feet, and I really try my best to think about what's the fastest way or what's the best way for me to really convey my ideas as eloquently as I can while thinking on my feet. And yeah, table topics is one of them.
Well, you're thinking on your feet right now and doing a spectacular job. So I'm not sure where exactly that's coming from, because you're doing very, very well. Let's have a little look at your inspiration. Your inspiration is small habits amount to big changes. So what small habits have you taken on during COVID that you feel are going to lead to some personal big changes?
Yes, it's a very good and personal question as well. So one of the things I started was journaling. And every single morning I would write out how I felt, what I want to do, how my day is going, so on and so forth. And I think by doing that every single day, what it has given me is the ability to really be intentional in my day. So for example, one of the things I always write is be kind to others. Not that I'm unkind, but be kind to others. And that really brings on that intent when I talk to my colleagues, my friends, my family. And overall, that made me, I think, a better person.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I will ask our third contestant to please unmute yourself and get yourself up on camera.
Hey, Phil.
Hi, how are you? How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty inspired. A lot of great speeches.
Excellent. I do too. So please tell me, what club are you here representing today?
I represent New Horizons Toastmasters. We're around Young and Finch, Club 312.
Excellent. And here's the virtual clapping. I'm sure that all of your club members and everybody is clapping for you and cheering you on. So very well done. Let's get to know Kwan just a little bit better. So you say that your interests are working out and wine. Now, do you do both at the same time?
So I tried. It didn't really work out that well. Actually, to be honest, I don't remember how well it went. I was told it didn't work out that well. And so now kind of split it up. Do one in the morning, one in the evening. I think it's better for everybody involved.
Very good. So what is your favorite workout? What is it that you do when you're working out that gets you jacked up?
Okay, well, love the play on words. And I love kettlebell swings. I love burpees. I don't know if, I mean, you look like a pretty fit guy, but
well, thank you.
Like, burpees are my favorite thing to do. It's the best bang for your buck exercise.
So you like punishing yourself a little bit, I think. I'm
a little bit of a masochist, it's true.
Well, I think that if you exercise, if you're really into exercise, you have to be a little bit of a masochist, because as they say, if there's no pain, there is no gain.
There's no gain, baby. That's exactly it. Know it.
Exactly. So let's see. What is your favorite quote? It is, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain from what he cannot lose." So tell me, what does that mean to you personally?
Well, what it means to me is I believe there is a God. His name is Jesus, and he's given us this one life to live for him. And this is a life, we can't take anything with us, can't take our clothes, can't take the money in our bank account. So we use all of our time, all of our money, all our possessions to be good to others. Because what we get in heaven is we get our God, and we get to spend the rest of it with the people we love. And so want to be able to give what I can't keep to gain what I can't lose.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so is there an organization other than your church that you like to participate in to sort of dig into that a little bit?
No, actually, so we try our best from a church perspective to be good to our community, to be good to our neighbors. One of the big things is we don't want to just, believe our faith. We want to live out our faith. And so we want to do our best. I mean, especially in this season, right? Like where there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of hurt. We want to be able to, we want to be just a light to people. It kind of stinks when, it's lockdown number like 53, right? And so
it has definitely been a very challenging year. What lesson have you personally learned for yourself during this COVID-19 lockdown, this past year of working virtually and existing in a virtual world?
I think a lesson that's been reinforced for me is that we are social creatures, for better or for worse. We see that we are, we break rules. Why? Because we want to be with other people. And I think for me, one of the things I miss the most is church, gathering with people, like-minded people who are not like me, and just being able to laugh together, love together. I miss that. I miss that, man.
I hear you. Well, thank you so very much for participating today, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, Phil.
You're very welcome. And now I will ask our fourth contestant to please unmute yourself and get yourself up on camera.
Here I am. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Ruth. So I guess first and foremost, please let us know what club you are here representing today.
I'm representing Eglinton Young Toastmaster near Yon and Eglinton.
Eglinton Young Toastmasters, and let me give you that virtual clap. And I'm sure that all of your fellow club members and you've got lots of friends that are cheering you on, and congratulations on your performance today. So let's get to know Ruth just a little bit better. So your favorite quote is, "There are no strangers here, only friends you haven't yet met." Tell me an experience that you've had where that has been true for you.
I used to fear the unknown. If I don't know someone, I used to fear approaching them until someone introduced me that quote. There's no stranger here, only friends that you haven't met yet. So approach them. You never know if you will become the best friend. So in my university or college, at the beginning, you feel, oh my goodness, I'm alone here. Then you discover there are many friends after that. So that quote has helped me to overcome this fear actually, and look at it at the other perspective, like they might be my friends in the future.
I love that. I think it's so true. As soon as you start to engage with somebody, and we learned this through Toastmasters, that as soon as we start to engage with somebody, that you really are on the road to friendship. So I love that quote. That's a great one. You've indicated that your interests are acrylic abstract painting. Tell me a little bit about that. How long have you been painting, and did you go to school for it? Tell me a little bit about your experience with abstract painting.
Abstract painting is a great definition for it, and I've been painting for over 5 years. I started with my kids, just having fun together, until someone noticed a video that I made painting something. They asked me to paint something like that for them, and actually sold one painting. Then it was my neighbor's birthday, and I painted, my neighbor loves flowers, and she always gives me roses from her garden. And I decided to paint some of the roses that she has given me, and she bought me one of the paintings. So that's how I said, okay, let me just experience more about it. I've never studied anything, but they come out beautiful. So it looks like I have something in me. I will keep exploring it.
Very nice. And so have you had an opportunity to do more painting during this whole sort of COVID lockdown? We've all been kind of stuck at home. So is that something that has helped you get through?
Yes. Art is a thing in my house. I try with kids. I try to avoid watching too much TV and all that. So painting is our go-to. Also last year, it was my birthday, and for my birthday I invited 4 friends, and I gave them a painting session. I chose one of my old painting, and we decided to paint that. So that was something amazing to do through the pandemic, and involve people, to just have some fun and stay away from just thinking pandemic all the time.
Well, that sounds like an awful lot of fun. And as you said, strangers or friends that you have not yet met, you have now met me. We can consider ourselves friends. When do I get invited to one of your painting sessions? Because I would love to do that. That sounds like an awful lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
I'm just joking.
I hope so. I mean, why not?
Ruth, thank you so very, very much, and best of luck to you. Thank you. And now I will ask our 5th contestant to unmute yourself, get yourself up on camera, and let's get to know you a little bit better.
Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Paul. How are you? How are you feeling?
A whole lot calmer, excited to chat with you, honored to be here with 8 other amazing speakers.
Well said, well said. Please tell me, what club are you representing today?
I am representing CSI Pitchmasters in Toronto.
CSI Pitchmasters, and I can tell you there is a big round of applause happening right now from all of your fellow club members and of course your friends and family that have joined you today to see this lovely display that you put on for us today. So thank you very, very much for that. So let's get to know Paul just a little bit better. So you've indicated that your interests are hiking, photography, travel, and meditation. Where is it that you love to go hiking? And when you go hiking, do you take pictures?
I love hiking. I love taking photos while hiking. So I have photos of every hike that I go on, and I bring my DSLR camera along with me ever since I've started taking photos on that DSLR this past year. My favorite place to go hiking, I recently moved out to BC. So I'm surrounded by nature, surrounded by mountains. There is a beautiful regional park called Belcara Lake Park. And it's a 3-kilometer loop around the Camas Lake, surrounded by cedar trees and just beautiful nature. It's calm, it's quiet. And that's my favorite place to go hiking. I'm really looking forward to Mount Garibaldi. It's a 20-hour hike ending with camping for a few days. I've seen photos. I want to take my own. And so I'm looking forward to getting around to that in a few months.
That sounds really exciting. That sounds actually really, really amazing. BC is just so, so beautiful. So I'm just a little envious of your current geographical location, as it were. So your favorite quote is, "Be the change you want to see in the world," by Gandhi. So tell me, how do you relate to that on a personal front?
I think especially in the last year, it's really easy to look at the circumstances around us and be pulled in by what's wrong and complain about where you find yourself. And I'm no stranger to that. Reminding myself that I can be the change I want to see in the world, I put myself back in control. So I'm not powerless to my circumstances, but I can approach the world how I want to. It's really a reminder to myself to approach the day feeling calm, meditating, and not reacting to what's around me, but being in a response and even owning, like throwing some ripple effects out into the world that could be a little happier than what we're seeing.
Well, that's a great philosophy to have, and a very important philosophy, I think, especially in this past year of all of us having to reinvent our lives. So thank you for sharing that. And Paul, best of luck to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bill.
You're very welcome. And now I will ask our 6th contestant to please unmute yourself, get yourself up on camera so we can see you, and we'll get to know you a little bit better too.
All right, is my audio working?
Yes, it is. Steve.
Thank you for having me once again.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, feeling confident. It was an
excellent.
amazing contest, great performances by all contestants. Glad to be a part of it this year.
So please tell me, what club are you here representing today?
I'm representing Ebony Toastmasters, G66, club number 454541. Correction, 545441.
Very impressive. Nicely done. And a big virtual round of applause from all of your fellow club members and, of course, all the people that are here supporting you today. So let's get to know you just a little bit better, Steve. So
Absolutely.
You've indicated that your interests are reading and exercise. Looking at you, I can tell that you like to exercise, and I'm sure that being a are you still currently in the Army?
Still currently in the Army as a reservist. So I think it's great to be able to keep in shape. At least I try, not now with the COVID gut, but we're working on it.
All of us are working on it, believe me. You know, at the beginning of this, they said that we're all going to be gaining the COVID-15. You know, I passed 15 after 2 months, and I've stopped keeping track.
Yeah.
So your favorite quote is that persistence is the insurance policy against failure. Tell me about a time in your life where you felt that persistence was the way that you were able to get over a personal failure.
Wow. So I think one of the times when I look back, I think about just being in sales when I first started in sales, and I had to do knock doors. Initially, I was selling a Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Steve, I'm going to stop you here for one quick second. I'm having a little bit of a technical audio issue with your mic.
Can you hear me now? Is this
I
clear?
can hear. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
So Sorry about that. Perhaps what we'll do, Steve, if you don't mind, is we'll start off again.
Okay.
I'm not sure how the audio all worked out. So let's start off by telling us the club that you are here representing today.
I'm representing Ebony Toastmasters G66 545441 club number.
Excellent. And again, the virtual round of applause from all of your fellow club members and all of your supporters. So let's get to know you just a little bit better, Steve. So we have been, you talked about persistence being an insurance policy against failure, very famous quote by Napoleon Hill. Tell me about a time in your life where you felt that persistence was a way that you were able to get over a personal failure.
Oh, absolutely. So I would start off by saying when I was beginning my career in sales, persistence is everything. Initially, we had appointments being given to us and we were selling vacuum cleaners. And then eventually we had to go door to door. For those of you that know, working door to door, knocking on doors, it's not an easy task. Had doors slammed in my face and all type of slurs, but persistence. And what you realize is you start understanding there's ways how to be able to communicate without audibly. And it's body posture, it's the smile, it's your presence, it's your mindsets, it's all of these different aspects that will allow you to be efficient and effective at being able to deliver a pitch. And I got really good at that, but I had to keep on being persistent. It didn't come overnight, but I had to just keep going. And eventually I became so good at selling to the point where I was able to now knock other dealers in and getting their appointments, got promoted to be a dealer power specialist, where my job was now recruiting, where I had to train people to now sell. And I've kind of evolved into the real estate industry where I'm doing just that by being able to now focus more so on being a listing agent rather than being a buyer's agent, teaching other agents how to do just that.
That's really, really wonderful. I had a very, very brief period in my life where I did door-to-door sales. And I'll tell you, anybody who can survive that requires an awful lot of persistence, because it's very difficult to have people constantly, slam the door and saying, no, thank you, no, thank you. You've got to pick yourself up and go again. But what's wonderful and what you've displayed, Steve, is that learning early in your career has sort of calloused your hands, and now you're able to do this heavy lifting in real estate. So wonderful for you on that. Let's see what you've got here. Your inspiration is helping others achieve their dreams. Is there an organization that you're part of where you do that?
Well, right now, I would say Remax Realtron is what we're, as an agent, we help our clients achieve their dreams in terms of home ownership and also investors. So the key is really just focusing on our clients and understanding where they are and giving them tools and a plan to be able to accomplish their dreams. One of the things when I first got started in real estate is some people would say, Steve, why go into real estate? There are so many agents. And my answer to them is simple. Look around. Look at all of these houses. Do you think everybody that owns those houses are living in their dream? They said, no. I said, why not? I said, not sure. I said, they're not living their dreams. Majority of them are not, because they simply don't know how. Now, if I can present to them an option of how they could be able to accomplish their goals or their dream of, living in their dream house, per se, do you not think they would want to listen to be able to see how I could be able to do that? Absolutely. And being able to think creatively and outside of the box, and just having the support, some of the top agents in the industry within our brokerage will allow us to be able to do that. So I enjoy helping people accomplish their dreams from home ownership. And then also, I did a degree in entrepreneurship and global management. So I'm big on the business side in terms of business development. So I'd love to be able to how to How do you become better as an individual, as a business, to be able to drive value for the end users? Really big on that. So those are some of the ways that how I'm able to help others to be able to accomplish their dreams and to be able to push them in the right direction.
Well, thank you so much, Steve, for sharing a little bit about yourself and your dreams and aspirations. Best of luck to you in today's competition, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. And now we will ask our seventh speaker to please unmute yourself and get yourself on camera. Eloise.
Hi, Phil.
How are you feeling?
It was good, but wow, all the contestants were just amazing. So I just really want to say that I'm very, very honored to be part of this group. Everyone was fantastic.
Tell me, what club are you here representing today?
I represent the Toronto Financial Analyst Toastmasters Club.
And here is a big virtual round of applause from all of your fellow club members and of course, all of the people that are here today supporting you. So let's get to know Eloise a little bit better. Your interests are theater, podcasts, and knitting. So tell me about theater. Are you someone who acts, or are you someone who appreciates?
In my youth, Phil, I was someone who acted myself. I used to travel with a drama group, but these days, well, not exact these days, but in the near recent past, I enjoyed going to the theater and watching performances. I must say that the one thing the pandemic has allowed us to do is to see these amazing theater performances from all around the world, like the National Theatre in the UK had all of these productions that you could watch on YouTube, which was great for me. So I got to see a bunch of those.
And I'm sure that that having a little bit of a background in theater also helps you with providing speeches also.
Yeah, no, that is it. So I'm a very new Toastmaster, but I'm not new to public speaking. So I've done it in other settings before.
Excellent. So you've got here, your favorite quote is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is something that I really resonate with. Tell me what that means to you personally.
I think there are two things that I see in this quote. The first thing is, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? And you've got to use the right approach for the job you want to do. So if you do need to go fast, don't make it a rule that I always have to have people with me. I always have to, have as much, because if you need to go fast, you need to go. But if you need to go far, then it makes much more sense to have a lot of people with you. And just for me personally, we moved to Canada from Namibia when around 4 years ago. And if I didn't have my family with me, I wouldn't have been able to come this far. So that's been the application in my life. But if you need to go fast, you can do it on your own as well. So just pick the right tool for the job.
Absolutely. And so well said, because, especially again, with this past year and all of the difficulties that we've had, I think it has displayed to each and all of us that we are so very reliant on others, and it does take community. So, so I absolutely agree with you there. Eloise, thank you so very much for today's competition, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Phil.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And now I will ask speaker number 8 to please unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Michelle, how are you feeling?
Feeling fantastic. It's an honor to share the virtual stage with all these amazing speakers. It's awesome.
So please tell me, what club are you here representing today?
Yes, I'm representing as the VP of Education for the Downtown Toronto Toastmasters Club. We meet every Wednesday at 12:15, and it's club number 1744.
Wow, somebody is prepared. A virtual applause from all of your supporters and from all of your fellow club members. So very well done. Let's get to know Michelle a little bit more. You have indicated that your inspiration is finding joy in the simple things. So tell me, over this past year, what simple things have brought you joy?
Absolutely, Phil. And the simple things could be just a deep breath. There's a lot of people this year that their life was taken too soon. And just to take a, like, wow, I could take a deep breath. And if you start there and start appreciating the smallest things, as you wake up, you're like, okay, I woke up this morning, I have another chance to try to do whatever I was trying to do yesterday that maybe didn't get done, or, you know, you had plans, COVID kind of slowed it down. You just say, okay, another day to try, another day to be the best version of yourself. And that's what I focus on for sure. Even during this COVID, I'm like, okay, how could I get better at Toastmasters? I have time, I have extra time to develop my speeches. How can I get better at work with, you know, making things more automatic? Because, you know, we want to use the systems that are available to us. And it just pushed my, you know, initiatives at work to make things a little bit more efficient in terms of everything's virtual. You have to get virtual. And converting to this virtual world was a blessing for me. It was easy. That kind of kept our club together as well. So just focusing on those simple things in life, and then it just builds from there.
That's wonderful. I love that. Start with a simple, deep breath. Yeah, that's how I like to start my day too. You have a very interesting quote here, and it's another quote by Gandhi. Your belief becomes your thoughts become your words become your actions become your values, and your values become your destiny. Tell me about an occasion where you found that this is something that transpired for you personally.
Well, I talk about my faith. And the faith for me is at the beginning of something that you believe in. Just to know that COVID, no COVID, things in life, anything, that you're gonna be okay, to have that one belief. You'll figure it out. The bills will get paid, something will happen, somebody will help me, God will send something. That's how I live my life. It's gonna figure itself out. And in the meantime, I can relax and enjoy little bits and pieces of it. Is it an audiobook? Is it a YouTube video? Is it a joke on TikTok? Is it me with my son being silly and laughing for half an hour on one simple joke? All those little things add up for sure.
Well, thank you so very much, Michelle, for sharing that. And I want to congratulate you on your son and also on your successful surgery. So thank you so much, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now I would like to ask our speaker number 9 to please unmute yourself and turn on your camera, and we'll get to know you too. There's Peter.
Hey.
How are you feeling, Peter?
Great, great. Excited.
Excellent. Please tell me what club you're here representing today.
Representing the Toastmasters Club of Oshawa, and I'm also a member of the Star Toastmasters Club, which is an acronym for Serving, Rotary, and Toastmasters, for those that are Rotarians and Toastmasters.
Excellent. Well, a big virtual round of applause from your fellow club members and, of course, from all of the people that are here today supporting you.
Thank you.
So let's get to know Peter a little bit better. So your inspiration is authentic human connection. Now, aside from being kidnapped, which is a pretty authentic human connection, what is a positive human connection that you've had that you feel is very authentic?
That would be just by taking the time to truly know yourself and connecting with someone else, whether it's in work, whether it's in the community, whether it's with your children, with your spouse, being present and getting into their world authentically, like leaving all the other stuff aside and just hone in on them for a moment, hone in on what they're really trying to say, what they're really doing, what their concerns are, what their ambitions are. By being with someone genuinely and in that moment, authentically, magic starts to happen. And that's that connection. We can't see it, but we feel it. We know what it is.
Absolutely. I heard it said that the most important person in the world is the person that you're with right now. So I absolutely.
Well, that would be you right now, Phil.
Well, you know, I was trying to get something happening here, and I'm glad that you picked up on that, Peter.
This vibe, I can feel it.
So you've indicated here that your favorite quote is "Dada, come wipe my bum."
Dada, come wipe my bum. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Gladly. So I have three.
Without getting into too much detail.
I have three beautiful daughters, age 2, age 3, and age 5. My wife and I are just blessed to have these three gorgeous little girls who are the gem of our lives, per se. And I'm out there every day hustling in my career. I'm out there in the community doing things with different community groups. I'm challenging myself through competitive speaking. And sometimes with the success that comes with all that, our egos, or my ego in this case, can get pretty up there. So it only takes being in my home and hearing this yell from halfway down the hall in the washroom, "Dada, come wipe my butt," to bring me back down to reality and ground me and show me my true place in this world.
Well, I think person has any children at all, no matter how old they are, completely relates to what you said. There's something about children that can absolutely make you very, very humble. So Peter, thank you very much for allowing us to get to know you a little bit better, and best of luck to you today in the competition.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everyone.
You're very welcome. All right, well, to all of our contestants, it has been really fabulous getting to know all of you. It's been a wonderful competition, and to everyone who is watching today, I want you to consider doing this yourself next year. As JD said at the very beginning of today's competition, you need to start now. And there is no better growing experience than competing at the District 60 stage. Let me just check, and I see that we do have results. It's getting really exciting. A reminder, the decision of the judges is final. And now it is my great pleasure to invite our District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Wendy Williamson, to join me for the presentation of the awards. Wendy.
Thank you, Phil.
I am so incredibly delighted to say that there were no time disqualifications. Well done, all of you. So here we go. Photographers, get ready to click away. Our third place winner is Deanne Razek. Congratulations. We'll just give our photographer a few minutes to set things up and to take a few pictures. So everybody look good, smile big. And I think we should have it. Is that good? I think it's good. All right, let's continue with the excitement. Our second place winner is Michelle Caballero. Congratulations. And we'll again give our photographers just a few minutes to take a few pictures. So smile big. Here we go. And now, the moment that everybody has been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, our first place winner, who will be going on to compete at the regional quarterfinals, is Steve Beckford. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much to the contestants. Amazing job. Ebony Toastmaster, my support team, everybody that's been with me from day one. Thank you guys so much. All of the organizers behind the scenes, you guys did a fantastic job. Amazing. Looking forward to represent our district in the international round and bringing home gold. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's pose for a few pictures. Big smiles. Looking good, everybody.
This is the photographer. Could I have a group shot of the first, second, and third place finisher, please? There we go. We're getting there. Perfect. Okay, give me a minute.
Congrats, Steve.
Just another one here. Can we have some emotion, you guys? Like, look excited. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And to all of our contestants, congratulations on an absolutely fabulous contest. All of you should be very, very, very proud. And to our winners, an extra special congratulations to you. And Steve, start getting ready. The quarterfinals are coming up.
Already set, ready to go. Speech number 2 is there.
Excellent, excellent. Just what we want to hear, preparation. It is my absolute pleasure to say that this has been an incredible experience. But you know, this experience is only an incredible experience because of all of the wonderful people behind the scenes who have been working diligently to make all of this work and work so well and so seamlessly. So I want to extend a very big thank you to all of the officials, to all of the people who have been working tirelessly on this, and of course to our contestants. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Lastly, but not least, to the audience members. Without you, there is no show. So thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up in such great numbers today to support District 60 and these fabulous, fabulous speakers. Our contest is now closed. And I pass things on to Wendy Williamson. Wendy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Phil. Wow, what a fabulous contest. I just loved all the speeches. They were inspiring and just wonderful. Congratulations to our winners. And Steve, I look forward to seeing you over in the world stage in August. We're now going to bring our conference to a close. And it has been the best virtual conference ever, right? Yes. Thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to the organizers, Jill Robert, and my program quality directors, Anita Pathak and Chris Nelson. Thank you, Phil, for being such a gracious host for the contest. What did we accomplish over this weekend? Amazing keynote speakers, check. Fabulous workshops, check. Fun first-timers activities, check. new district leaders elected for 2021-2022. Check. DTM Award, George Keenan Award, check. And of course, our fabulous speech contest, check. When you see what our members and volunteers can accomplish, there is nothing that District 60 cannot do. You made this virtual contest, and the first ever that we've tried to do, so effortless. The audience would just sit there thinking, oh, this was easy, but it wasn't. There was so much work, so much planning, so much detail put into each and every event. And that is why, to the audience, it looked absolutely effortless. We've had a really challenging year up to now in District 60, not just District 60, everybody has. But you know what? We are really doing well. We are accomplishing our goal of rescuing as many clubs as we can and retaining as many members as we can. Just since yesterday, when I did my district director update for the business meeting, we've added 6 new members over the weekend. They just keep joining because they come to our clubs and they see the quality and the opportunity that awaits them when they go and meet with our members. Please keep that energy going. It is what is going to make the last part of our goal, rescue, retain, and rebuild, happen. District 123. I know that you are flying away from us July 1st, but you always have a home here. And put November 2nd in your calendars so that you can come back to the appreciation lunch, and hopefully maybe we can all hug each other then. Thank you to everybody. We still have 2.5 months left in this year. We still have our goals to achieve. We still have clubs that we want to get in good standing. We still want distinguished clubs. We've got 42 so far. We're halfway there, and we've still got 2.5 months. And we know that with the clubs, that is when the action really starts. In those last couple of months, while clubs go, oh yes, we're going to be distinguished. We're going to be distinguished. They put the pedal to the metal and they get going. I have no doubt that we will reach distinguished status for our distinguished clubs. I've appreciated so much being part of this conference and watching the wonderful effort and the wonderful results that we have had. I've had so many people come to me and say, wow, how did you do that? How did you do that? How did the team do it? They did it because they had great leaders leading them. They did it because they have fabulous ideas and were allowed to implement them. It just shows that we can do that in everything we do. I know it's been a long 2.5 days. I know you would all like to just go back to your families and breathe a little. So I will let you do that. Thank you so much. And always stay true to your Toastmasters values, and you will stay true to yourself. Bye. This conference is now adjourned.